Welcome to the Beer Drinking Lawyer, where today we'll talk about how you don't have the right to grow your own food, even for survival. Before you fall asleep, please hit the like button, subscribe. With that, let's crack open a Great Lakes Crushworthy Wheat beer. And if you figure out why I chose this beer, let me know in the comments. Tired of spending all your money on groceries as prices go up? Terrified that avocados are going extinct? I know what you're thinking. I'll just grow my own food. It'll be cheaper, good for the environment, and I'll get to spare my tomatoes from those terrible living conditions on factory farms. Okay, well, maybe not that last one, but you get the point. Surely I don't have to ask permission to grow my own food. Well, yes and no. According to the Supreme Court, it's not so simple. Meet Roscoe Filburn. He's a small farmer in Ohio. Oh, and it's 1940. Roscoe was a regular dude. He had some cows and chickens and stuff. He grew some wheat, sold some of it locally. No biggie. Well, the wheat part, that is kind of a biggie. You see, it's 1940, and the wheat market was kind of wonky. So the U.S. government said farmers could only grow a certain amount of the stuff. If you're wondering where the wheat clause is in the Constitution, giving them the power to do this, look no further than the Commerce Clause, which gives Congress the power to regulate commerce between the states. Then they said they found the word wheat if you looked really closely. Just kidding. They actually said wheat is sold between the states, so boom, Congress sticks its face right up in there with regulations. But wait, I thought you said Mr. Filburn sold his wheat locally. Well, you're right. He did. And the Supreme Court was asked about that. The Supreme Court said that everyone selling their wheat locally impacts the national wheat market. Prices go up or down if we add all these small farmers together. So they said the local stuff impacts the national stuff, waves their hands a little bit, did a little dance, voila, more power for the government. Surprise, surprise, I'm sure you're shocked. This may sound like they stretched their powers, and they did. That isn't even half of it. Good old Mr. Filburn knew the rules. So when he was told he could only grow so much wheat because, wheat prices and all that jazz, he was going to do what they said. But he saw a loophole. The government doesn't like loopholes. He was allowed to grow wheat on 11.1 acres of his land. Mr. Filburn was like, all right, Gov, I got you, and planted wheat on 23 acres. Mr. Filburn wasn't stupid. He knew he could only sell 11 acres worth. The rest? Well, he'd feed his cows and chickens and stuff. Who knows? Maybe he'd make some beer. I don't know. What could be the problem? Mr. Filburn just wanted to feed his own chicks and moose on the farm. What he does on his farm with his animals is his business, right? You know what I mean. It's for his own use. Surely that's okay, right? Right? Well, no. The government fined Mr. Filburn 49 cents a bushel for the wheat over the limit. I guess back then that was probably a lot. And Mr. Filburn engaged in the good old American pastime of suing. Yep, he sued the government because nobody gets in between a man and his wheat. And if you can believe it, the federal district court agreed. My man Roscoe Filburn had taken on the government and won. Oh wait, then the government appealed it to the Supreme Court, and those black robe peeps disagreed, so he lost. You see, even though Filburn was going to use the wheat himself, the Supreme Court was like, nah, the government still gets to control that. Filburn was like, guys, come on. It's for my own consumption. What could the Supreme Court possibly have said in response to this? Well, because Mr. Filburn grew his own wheat, he didn't have to buy wheat to feed himself and his animals. Because he didn't have to buy wheat locally, it affected the price of wheat. Because he was one small farmer among many, if we added all these farmers feeding themselves from their own land, well, the price of wheat would change nationally. And the government doesn't like when things are out of its control. So that's what happened. The court said you don't have the right to grow your own food. What does this mean? It means that if the government wanted to, it could tell you whether you can grow food on your land, even if it's for your own use. Want an apple tree so you can make some nice apple pie? Call your local congressman. Want to grow avocados so they won't go extinct? Write your senator. Want to grow your own weed? Well, that's actually going to come up in another video, so I'll hold off on that part. Where does that leave us? You don't have the right to grow your own food. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think this is crazy? Do you know of any other crazy legal stories? Let me know.